How to use words, writing, and poetry as a tool for change. Have you ever felt like your voice is just a whisper in a storm of global problems? Like climate change, inequality, injustice, these massive tidal waves, and you're just one person standing on the shore? You're not alone. That feeling of too small to matter is almost universal. But here's the truth. Your words, your stories, your poetry, even your social media posts can ripple outward in ways you'd never expect. Words change minds. Words start movements. Words spark revolutions. Today, I'm breaking down how to use writing, poetry, and storytelling as a tool for real, tangible change. Let's get into it. Part 1. Find your why. Your power as a writer begins inward, not with all the world's problems piled on your back, but with one question. What's my why? Every writer-activist who's ever shaped history, Langston Hughes, Maya Angelou, James Baldwin, started not with statistics, but with personal truth. Hughes wrote about what it felt like to be Black in America. Maya Angelou turned her own pain into poems of defiance and resilience. Baldwin wrote fiery essays that grew out of wounds and observations from his own life. You have that same starting point. You don't need to be loud. You need to be authentic. So ask yourself, what makes your blood boil? What moments in your life have made you say, this isn't right? Where have you seen injustice? In your hometown, your family, or your workplace? That's your North Star. That's your material. Write from there, and you'll never run dry. Part 2. Choose your form. Now you know your why. Next, how do you say it? Think of writing as a toolbox. Different forms communicate differently. Let's break a few open. Poetry. Poetry hits the heart. It condenses massive ideas into a gut punch of emotion. At a rally, at an open mic, even on TikTok, a powerful poem can spread like wildfire because it makes people feel. Essays and op-eds. These are your scalpel. Where poetry is visceral, essays can dissect. They persuade, they contextualize, they appeal to reason. Think James Baldwin dissecting America with raw clarity. Storytelling. Never underestimate the power of let me tell you what happened. Story humanizes. It bypasses walls and creates empathy. Most people can ignore facts, but it's hard to ignore a personal story that mirrors your own experience back at you. Letters, posts, and speeches. Don't overlook everyday forms of writing. A heartfelt Facebook post, a letter to city council, a speech at a community meeting. All of these can move people, especially when grounded in emotion and truth. Pick the form that fits your why. Sometimes even combining forms, like pairing a spoken poem with a well-argued article, can be especially powerful. Part 3. Sharing your words. Now comes the scary part. Actually putting it out there. Writing for change only works if people see it, hear it, and feel it. So where do you start? Start small, start local. Share your words in your community, social media, your church, your library, your local paper. These spaces are hungry for voices that care, and they're often more open to new writers than you think. Go digital, but stay intentional. Post your work online. Share poems on Instagram Reels or TikTok. Submit essays to online platforms. Social media is powerful, but noise is everywhere. So craft your words to be clear, personal, and true. Collaborate. Team up with organizations that share your cause. Lend your words for their newsletters, their rallies, their campaigns. Activism is collective, not solo work. Your words grow stronger in a chorus. Speak it out loud. Poetry and activism have always gone hand in hand because performance puts your body behind your words. Even if it's just reading aloud to a group of friends or at a local open mic, the impact multiplies when people hear your voice directly. Part 4. The ripple effect. Here's something important to remember. You don't always see the immediate results of your writing. You may post a poem and hear silence. You may write an article and wonder if anyone listened. But here's the truth. It only takes one person to read your words, shift their thinking, and carry that energy into their own circles. That's how movements ripple outward. Think of Rachel Carson. Her book, Silent Spring, didn't end environmental destruction overnight, but it sparked the modern environmental movement by waking up people, one reader at a time. Think of a high school student reading a poem online and deciding to speak up in their classroom. Think of a city council member hearing a personal story at a local meeting and voting differently because of it. That's the ripple. That's the work. So let's bring this home. Start with your own why. Choose the my form bomb that delivers your message best. Share it locally, digitally, collaboratively, vocally, and trust the my ripple effect. The world doesn't need perfect words or polished manifestos. It needs authentic, courageous voices willing to speak, and that includes yours. So grab the pen, open the laptop, step up to the mic, because change may begin in marches, in policy, in protest, but it always begins in words. This has been social, yet distanced. Thanks for listening. Like, comment, sub, and share. And remember, your story matters, your voice matters, and most of all, your words can change the world.